Hello and welcome to the very last session, Lesson 7. I got the job offer. What next? Lesson 7 objectives. Gain an understanding of airline FAA initial training. Understand what it takes to successfully complete initial training. An overview of emergency procedures and aviation security. Memorize city codes for major cities. Learn and use 24-hour time. Contingency job offer revisited. This means that the job is yours when you graduate from the airline's FAA certified initial training. Every airline has their own FAA certified initial training, and if you choose to work for another airline, you must complete the new airline's FAA certified initial training. If you work for 8 airlines in your career, then you have completed 8 FAA certified trainings. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why would I have to go through training again and again and again? This is simply because a Boeing 737 flown by Southwest Airlines is very different from a Boeing 737 flown by Delta or any other airline. The safety demonstration at Republic is not like that of Southwest, Mesa, or United, American, SkyWest, any other airline. The location of the safety equipment on board PSA Airlines CRJ aircraft is not the same as the location of the safety equipment on the Piedmont's CRJ aircraft. As simple as setting up a beverage cart to steps to preparing the cabin for evacuation, rules, wording, steps, commands, etc. vary from airline to airline. Even calling it a beverage cart versus a bar cart is different among airlines. So we will stick to the basics. You will be sent a detailed instruction on everything from packing to graduation once you're hired by that airline. Once you're given a CJO, you will be sent all the instructions that you're going to need, from packing, again, to graduation. You will be flown to the city of your airline training. You will be housed in company housing or a hotel. The airline pays for this. And you must stay in the assigned housing with your roommate or roommates that are selected for you. You will learn a topic and then be tested. Learn a topic, then test. Typically, an 80 to 90% is passing. Some airlines do give you a final comprehensive test, while others do not. Every airline will have an IOP, which is an individual operating experience. You are in initial training for one reason, and that is to earn your wings. Tips to staying in the game. You must follow all the rules, and I'm going to say this again. You must follow all the rules. Being compliant is key. Always be early. Do not do drama. Study, then study some more. You're going to be friendly, but stay out of everyone's business. No complaining. Remember, it is the airline way or the highway. I don't really want to scare you, but there's a line behind you that would die to be in your position, and they're willing to follow the rules. Again, you're there for one reason and one reason only, and that is to earn your wings. You can do this. You've been chosen for a reason. The recruiters know exactly what they're doing and what they're looking for, and you made it this far. You can do it. Now, let's talk about some of the things that you do and you will need to know once you are in training. 24-hour time. Learn it. Learn by using it. Speak it. Think it. Set all your clocks to 24-hour time. 24-hour time does not use AM or PM. The number that you speak tells you exactly the time of day, whether it's morning or night. You can use this clock right here as an example to learn from. If it's 2100, it's the 21st hour of the day. If it's 0900, it's the ninth hour of the day. So practice, practice, practice. City codes. These are also known as airport codes. Now, you will not need to know every single airport code in the world. You're only going to be required to know the airport codes of the cities that your airline actually flies into. Most airlines will send you a list of these city codes, and they will expect you to learn them before you do enter training. A tip that I have is to go ahead and start learning city codes. Learn a city code a day or a week. Start with the major cities and then start working toward the smaller ones. Learning these city codes is definitely not going to hurt you. Terms that you will need to know. Now, I'm not going to bore you with going through each and every one of these by reading them out loud. So you can go through these terms at your own pace. Quiz yourself by pausing the video during these questions until you know them without having to think twice. Now, let me tell you a little bit about arming and disarming the aircraft doors. Disarming is the process of taking the slide out of the emergency mode so the slide will not deploy when the door is opened. Now, the larger aircraft have slides and requires doors to be armed and disarmed. The smaller aircrafts, like the regional jets, have air stairs versus slides. This is a 737 door. Right there's the slide. That's a big old slide packed in that little bitty space. That's the girt bar, and it is attached to the aircraft. As you can see right here, here's the slide. Here's the girt bar. This girt bar is then taken out of this bracket and it's placed down on the floor. So the girt bar is here, it's attached to the floor, and this flap is attached to the slide. So that when you open this door, the girt bar stays with the aircraft. The door opens and the slide pops out. If you work for a regional, keep in mind that you will not need to know this information. But I want you to have an understanding of the opening of the doors, whether it be a regional or a major or national aircraft, one of the larger aircrafts. As you can see right here, there's the girt bar, there's the slide, there's the handle. Now, here are doors that do not have girt bars. It would make it so easy if Boeing made every door and made the arming and disarming of that door exactly the same. But they don't do that. That is how you arm the door right there. You're going to press down that lever and it automatically attaches the slide to the aircraft so that when you open the door in an emergency mode, the slide will pop out. Here's a slide, and there's how you arm it. Boeing and Airbus. As you can see, these slides have been blown. They are large enough that you cannot use stairs to get off this aircraft. So when the jetway pulls away from the aircraft, the flight attendants must arm the doors for departure. They must put them in emergency mode so that they will have a way off the aircraft if there is an emergency. You can see here more slides. Now these are regional jet. This is a regional door example. Now you're still going to lock it, but here are the air stairs. That's because the aircraft is much lower to the ground. You are able to even jump out of that door if you needed to. And here are your air stairs as well on this regional jet. Another example, in an emergency. The air stairs are lowered. You evacuate it this way. The window exit. You can easily go out onto the wing and jump off. So that is arming and disarming of doors. Okay, now let's talk about this for just 1 second. The absence of oxygen will cause death in approximately how many minutes? 5 to 8 minutes. But if we back up, the time of useful consciousness is 10 to 15 seconds. It's very easy to get these two confused. So, with the absence of oxygen, you're going to be unconscious within 10 to 15 seconds. And then you're going to die within 5 to 8 minutes. And this is without any oxygen. So TUC is 10 to 15 seconds. And then how many minutes without oxygen will cause death? And that's 5 to 8 minutes. Now, when it says to grab the nearest mask, sit down and hold on, this doesn't mean to rush back to your jump seat and sit down and grab your mask. This means grab, sit, hold. You sit on the person's lap, say, hang on to me, and you grab that extra mask that is in the row of seats. Now, when you're adding flight attendants, you're not adding them based on the amount of passengers that are on board. It's how many seats you have. So if you have 70 seats and 2 passengers, you're still going to need 2 flight attendants. When you're on board the aircraft and you have a medical emergency, you have to think about what you have right at your disposal. You're always going to have sugar packets and you will always have fruit juice. You may not have honey, some aircraft, it just depends on the service that you have, but you're always going to have some type of juice. And you're definitely going to have sugar because they board the sugar for the coffee. So think about what you've got on board to treat any medical emergency. And you will learn these things not only in training, but you're going to learn them while you're on the line and you start flying. You're going to learn that a sanitary napkin is the best thing for bleeding. And every aircraft has them boarded in the stew kit and in the lavatories. You can't send out for medical help. You can ask if there's anyone on board is medically trained, but they're only going to have a limited amount of supplies that they've perhaps brought on board themselves, if any. So they're relying on you and what you have available. There are actually 12 items in the Life Raft Survival Kit. So refer back to your module. and name at least 4 of them. What is sterile cockpit? No one is to contact the cockpit under 10,000 feet unless it is an emergency. This is one of those questions that you must answer verbatim. Every word in the answer is important. What is the 2-person rule? 2 people must be in the cockpit while the engine is running. Again, the answer must be completed verbatim. Aviation alphabet. Make sure that you learn and start practice using this. For example, if I'm spelling aviation, then I'm going to say A is in alpha, V is in Victor, I is in India, A is in alpha, T is in tango, I is in India, O is in Oscar, and N is in November. In conclusion, you understand what airline FAA initial training entails and what you have to do to successfully complete it. You also know that each airline has their own way of doing things. The basics may be the same, but the details are different. 24-hour time is used in your daily life. There is only one reason you're at initial training, and that's to graduate, not to see the sights or to hang out with friends. You will make friends. Your roommates will possibly become your best friends throughout your life. But you're there to get your wings. You fully understand that drama will send you home from training. Going forward, you're going to continue to learn city codes. You're going to become familiar with aviation terms and definitions. Learn something new every single day. The more you can learn the basics before you get to training, gives you more time to focus on the items that you do not know, that you have to learn, like the evacuation drills, the emergency procedures, how to prepare for a ditching. Those are things that are very specific to the airline and that you will spend a great deal of time learning. So learn the basics before you even get to your FAA initial airline training. And good luck. I know everyone will be successful, and I will see you at the next team meeting.